Hello guys, welcome to the first video of our channel Analytical Angle. I am Mehul Sinha and today I will be solving the famous book Test of Mathematics at the 10 plus 2 level. So let's go. A worker suffers a 20% cut in wages. He regains his original pay by obtaining a rise of. So the question asks for what percentage of rise will produce the initial amount. So let us consider the initial amount as x. So original wage, let us take 100. Let us consider the x as 100. Okay, so now let's continue the operations of the rupees 100. So the worker suffers a 20% cut in wages. So wage after cut will give 100 minus 20% of 100. So that should give us rupees 80. Now, the question asks, adding what percentage of 80 shall regain us the original wage, that is rupees 100. So the question tells us to find adding what percentage to this rupees 80 will help us regain the original amount, which was rupees 100. So let us take this regains amount as y%. Okay, so this should be 80 into y by 100, which should equal 100. Okay, so this, on solving this, we should get 80y by 100. 100 minus 80, which should give us 20. This after cutting should give y is equal to 20 into 5 by 4. So 4, 5. So we are getting y as 25. Now what was this y? This regain percentage. So what's the percentage he should obtain to regain his original pay? That should be 25%. And that's our answer for the first question. I hope it's clear. Let us move on to the second question. The second question says that if m men can do a job in d days, then the number of days in which m plus r men can do the job is. Now, here we don't have to get a particular number as the answer. We have to keep the answer in variables only, that is d, m and r. So let's carry on. So the proportionality between the number of days and the number of men is inversely proportional. So if the number of men increases, the number of days taken to complete the job will decrease. Hence here we use a method like this. So here it is told if m men can do a job in d days. Let's take a column men and another column as days. Okay, so m men can do a job in d days. The second case tells then the number of days in which m plus r men can do the job. So here now the job is x. Here we have to find this one out. So let the number of days be x and m plus r men. Here the simple logic behind this is if the number of men increases, the number of days decreases. So what happens here is if the arrow is upwards, then we take m plus r starting from here. We start from here, take this as the numerator and divide this and take this as the denominator. So this becomes m plus r by m equals, now here the arrow is downwards, so the back of the arrow starts from d. So we will take d as the numerator this time and x will be the denominator this time. Okay, so basically the point from where the arrow starts, that corresponding number will be the numerator and the next number will be the denominator. Okay, so after solving this, we should get the value of x. Now what's the value of x? Let's do this in a new page. So let us write this one: m plus r by m equals to d by x. M plus r by m is equal to d by x. So what's x? X should be d into m by m plus r. And this is our correct answer. I hope this is clear for the second question. Let's now move on to the third question. So the question goes, a boy walks from his home to school at 6 kilometers per hour. He walks back at a speed of 2 kilometers per hour. His average speed in kilometer per hour. Okay, so what's happening here? His home, let us consider, is here and his school is here. So the boy walks from his home to school at 6 kilometers per hour. And then he walks back from school to home at 2 kilometers per hour. So we have been asked to find out the average speed. Now what's average speed? Average speed is just simply the total distance covered in the journey. The total distance covered in the journey by the total time taken to complete the journey. Okay, so we now apply this formula. Now to apply this, we need to know the total distance and the total time. So what can be done? Here we can notice that from home to school and from school to home, it doesn't matter, both the distances are same. Both the distances are d. The only thing that changes here is the time while going from school and from coming back from school. So only for the change of time the speed is also changing. So let us take, while going from home to school, this time as t1, and from coming back from school to home, this time as t2. Okay, so what does the formula say? Speed is equal to distance by time. Speed is equal to distance by time. Our basic formula, we know this. So applying this for the first case, when the boy is going from home to school, it should be speed is 6 kilometers per hour, total distance by the time, which is t1. And for the second case, it should be 2 kilometers per hour, distance by t2. Okay, now what was the formula of average speed? It was total distance by total time. So here, what's the total distance? The boy is going from home to school and coming from school to home. So it's d and then again d. So it's 2d. So now let's take another page. So what's average speed? So the average speed, the numerator first of all would be 2d, which is the total distance covered in the journey. Now what's the total time? We just calculated it. It's t1. What will be t1 here? D by 6. And what will be t2? D by 2. Simple, right? So what's t1? The time from while going from home to school, and t2 is the time for coming from school to home. So what's the total time? T1 plus t2. What is t1? D by 6. And what is t2? T by 2. So basically the total time is d. The total time should be t by 6 plus d by 2. So let's just solve this now. What's this coming? If we take LCM 3d, so 12d by d plus 3d. So this, all this cancels. 12 by 1 plus 3. So this is basically 12 by 4, which is 3. So what's our answer? His average speed should be 3 kilometers per hour. This is our answer for question number 3. I hope it was simple and it's clear to all. Let's move on to the next question, which is question number 4. A car travels from P to Q at 30 kilometers per hour and returns from Q to P at 40 kilometers per hour. Okay, so he goes from P to Q at 30 kilometers per hour, comes back from Q to P at 40 kilometers per hour by the same route, its average speed. Now it looks like the same as the last one. Let's solve it. So for average speed, we now know it's the formula is total distance by total time. Let's take the time for going from P to Q as T1 and from Q to P as T2. Now we know T1 is equal to, speed is equal to distance by time, so time is equal to distance. Let's take the distance again as D. Okay, the distance again is D. D by the speed, which is 30. Now what's T2? Its distance again by the speed, 40. Now what's average speed? The total distance. So what's the total distance? He goes from P to Q, it's D. He goes from Q to P, that is D again. So D plus D, it's 2D. So what's the average speed? It's 2D by the total time, which is T1 plus T2. It's D by 30 plus D by 40. So 2D by, let's take the LCM. So the LCM comes out as, let's take this as 120, 0, another. Okay. 40D plus 30D. No problem. 2 into 1200, that should give us 2400D by 70D. Okay. Now this D and D gets cancelled. We are left with 240 by 7. Now 240 by 7, we are left with, do we have another page? Let's see. Yeah, I think, yeah. So we were left with average speed as 240 by 7. So what's this? If we divide this, 7 3s are 21. So we are left with 30, 7 4s are 28. And we are left with something. The nearest should be 34 kilometers per hour. And that's our answer for question number 4. I hope it's clear. It was a simple one, quite similar to the last one. Let's move on to the next question. Man invests rupees 10,000 for a year. Of this, rupees 4,000 is invested at the interest rate of 5% per year. And it also says rupees 3500 at 4% per year, and the rest is at 8% per year. His total interest for the year is rupees 500. Then A equals, okay, so what should we do? The total interest. Okay, so what's interest? What's the formula for the interest? Interest equals principal times the rate of interest times time by 100. So we basically remember this as PRT by 100. Okay, so if we put this values, just is just calculation, a big one. If we put the value for the first case, he invests 10,000, so principal is 10,000. He invests 10,000 in total, so 4,000 is invested at first. That's the principal, 4,000. Rate of interest is 5%. 5% into the time is 1 year. Per year it's told. Okay. We have to find it for the current year, so it's 1 year only the time we have to take. So divided by 100 plus for the second case it's told 3500 at 4% time 1 year by 100. Again, now this year the investment we have to find it out. The total one is given as 10,000. So 4,000 plus 3,500 gives 7,500. So if we subtract 10,000 from 7,500, we are left with, what are we left with? We are left with 2,500. Okay, so he invests 2,500 for the last one, for the rate of interest A, for time T, that is 1 year, by 100. Let's just solve this now. 0, 0 cut. We are left with 40 into 5, which is 20, 200. 0, 0 again cut. So we are left with 0, 2, 30, 40, 140. The next one will come in variables. So we are left with 25A. And the total interest given is rupees 500. Okay, so 25A should equal 500 minus 200, which is 300, minus 140, which will give us 160. Hence, A should give us 160 by 25. So on solving this one, we should get it around 32 by 5, which should give us 6.4. If I am not wrong, then A should equal 6.4. Okay, so our answer for this question will be 6.4%. I hope this was simple, clear to everyone. I hope the video was informative, clear, and very simple. I hope you like this video. Please subscribe to our channel, Analytical Angle. Thank you.